Yo, what's up, y'all? I got a bunch of email yesterday. People asking what is my take on the hydroxycut recall. If you haven't heard already, the FDA recalled the hydroxycut products, pulled them off the shelves completely, and the hydroxycut addicts are going nuts wondering where they're going to get their next fix. If you actually look at the hydroxycut website and read the reasons why the FDA pulled the product, it's a little suspect to me, to be honest. I mean, 22 to 23 cases of liver damage and maybe one death that may be caused by hydroxycut when millions of people use the product. I mean, 22 out of millions is a little suspect to me. You know, people have screwed up livers in the first place for many reasons that I can do a whole 20-minute video on. So to attribute it to hydroxycut is a little fishy. I think it's part of something else, but I'm not going to get into it. But let's get into what hydroxycut does. It helps you burn fat. Absolutely. I know many people who have lost tons of weight on hydroxycut. It does what it says it's going to do. All right. Did they lose the weight safely? Absolutely not. Did they harm their health while losing weight? Absolutely. Did they gain the weight back? Double absolutely. And so it works, but then again, it doesn't work. It's an appetite suppressant. You know, people are on these ridiculous low-calorie, low-fat diets and wondering why they're hungry all the time. And so they need an appetite suppressant. So we're going to touch on that in a second. People get better workouts, but did you ever think about why you weren't getting a good workout in the first place? Maybe the fact that your body is overstressed, maybe the fact that you've been overtraining, maybe the fact that you haven't been providing your body with the fuel that it needs to get a good workout in, right? You guys do not have a hydroxycut deficiency. You can't have a deficiency of something that your body never needed in the first place. There is something else going on. Getting back to the appetite suppressant part. People are on like 900 and 1,000 calorie diets and wondering why they're hungry. People are on low fat, low saturated fat, weird diets and wondering why they're hungry. For real, y'all, let's just be real. Fat keeps you full. Fat is a natural appetite suppressant. If you have fat in your meals, then you can go longer in between meals without eating. You don't need the hydroxycut, but we become so afraid of fat. We don't want to have saturated fat because saturated fat is going to kill you, even though your itty-bitty, skinny-mini ancestors who didn't have the diseases that we have ate tons of fat. They didn't take the skin off of their chicken. They didn't cut the fat off of their meat. They ate the fat and they were healthy because of it. And if you think I'm crazy right now for saying saturated fat is good for you, then let's not forget who's the one who's paying $39.95 for a bottle of hydroxycut. All right? And so you want to get that saturated fat in you. Your body's made out of 100 trillion cells. And outside of all those cells is something called a cell wall. And that cell wall is made out of saturated fat. And so if you're not giving your body what it needs, the nutrients, the fats and whatnot, you're going to be hungry. You got to eat the right foods. You got to eat the right proportions. And if you don't, you're hungry all day and you're going to need some hydroxycut to not be hungry. Not a good thing. Let's talk about how hydroxycut actually works. Here's the analogy I like to give to people. You know, it's late at night, you're dead tired, you had a really rough day, you're home all alone. No one else is there. You get in bed, you're ready to knock out, and then you realize, man, I left the door unlocked. So you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to sleep well if I, know the door's unlocked, so let me get up. So you get up, right? You're dead tired. You don't want to turn the lights on. You walk over to your door, and then out of nowhere, someone grabs you and says, boo! How tired do you think you're going to be then? You're not going to be tired at all. And that's how hydroxycut works. Is it to that extent? No, but it does it in a more subtle manner. All right? It stimulates the fight or flight side of your autonomic nervous system. What is your autonomic nervous system? It is the master regulator of your metabolism. It's what controls all of the stuff that you're not consciously in control of, like your heart beating and your lungs breathing. And so you know that people who go on hydroxycut, they tend to feel like their heart's beating a little bit faster, like they may be having increased respiration and whatnot. That's because you're stimulating that sympathetic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system has two sides. It's got the parasympathetic side. That's your more if you like rest and digest, mellow side. Then you've got the sympathetic side. That is the fight or flight side, okay? So that's going to either have you ready for battle or it's going to have you ready to run, all right? And so if you look at some of the side effects of using hydroxycut, one of them is, people can't go poop. They're constipated. That's because when the body is in fight or flight mode, it's not really concerned with dropping a deuce. All it wants to do is run or battle, and you're in that state all day. And so you'll trade the ability to go poop, to eliminate feces from your body, to lose weight. That doesn't make any sense. Another side effect is people can't sleep. Just like I use with my analogy of the person who's dead tired and in bed and gets up and gets scared by something, they're not going to be able to get back to sleep. And so you're wondering why you don't recover from your workouts anymore. You're wondering why you don't get really good workouts, like intense workouts anymore. Well, maybe it's because you're not sleeping anymore. Maybe that day that you forgot to use your hydroxycut, you didn't get a good workout because you're just not rested. And speaking, actually, let me get to that point in a second. Let's talk about one more thing. One more, it's a very important thing, the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands we've talked about on this channel before, but we're going to go into them one more time. Because the adrenal glands are these two little itty-bitty glands that sit on top of your kidneys that help you to deal with stress. Okay, they help your body to adapt to and deal with stress. All right, and they make hormones called cortisol, norepinephrine, epinephrine, otherwise known as your adrenalins. And they make these hormones to stimulate your fight or flight nervous system. But here's the deal. Most Americans have tapped out adrenal glands. They're in stage 2 or stage 3 adrenal fatigue, and I've got file after file of them in my office here. And the thing is that if the adrenal glands are already exhausted, here are some of the side effects that you're going to have. You're going to carry weight. You're going to carry fat in your midsection, all right, in the belly area, also in the thighs and the hips. You're going to have a really hard time getting rid of it. You're going to get frequent infections. You're not going to be able to manage your blood sugar or balance your blood sugar very well. You're going to slow down your thyroid. You're not going to be able to lose weight with a slow thyroid. You're going to get really poor sleep. You're going to have poor memory. You're going to have poor recovery from exercise. And so there's people out there who are exercising their butts off and not getting any results. Think about this. Exercise is what? Stressing the body so the body can adapt to that stressor. What do the adrenal glands do again? They help your body to deal with and adapt to stress. So if you're stressing your body through exercise and your adrenal glands can't deal with the stress, what do you think is going to happen to your body? It's just going to get worse. You're not going to lose any weight. And so what do? You go get some hydroxycut, a sympathetic nervous system stimulator, and that's going to make your adrenal glands, which are already tapped out, even worse. You're forcing weight off of your body. You're causing something that is dead tired to try to do more. It's like beating a dead horse. That's what you're doing to your body. But you're probably already in stage 2, maybe stage 3 adrenal fatigue. There is no stage 4. And the problem is that the doctors don't recognize adrenal fatigue at all until it gets to really late stage 3, and then they put you on cortisone, and that's going to make you puff up, and now you've got a major problem. And so what is the root cause of this issue? Is it hydroxycut deficiency? Absolutely not. It's poor diet, poor rest, way too much exercise, way too much stress, and adrenal burnout that's secondary to all of those, or the primary cause of all of those issues that you're having. And so go to the cause. Fix the adrenal glands, de-stress, simple rules for you. If it wasn't here 10,000 years ago, don't eat it. Find out what your metabolic type is and eat accordingly. If your adrenal glands are burned out, get them looked into. If you're eating non-fat, make you hungry types of foods, then you're telling God and Mother Nature and your ancestors that they're really stupid. If you're stressed, figure out what's making you stressed and eliminate it. And if you don't believe me, read these books. Eat Fat, Lose Fat, Sally Fallon, Mary Enig. Adrenal Fatigue, the 21st Century Stress Syndrome by James Wilson. Cortisol Connection, all available on the Underground Wellness blog. That was a long video, but it was necessary, and I'm out. Peace.